Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. We are here for the final round of the Super Formula Series, Season 3. Talleyrand won the 2 previous seasons. He is our reigning champion, and he's doing extremely well coming into this final round. I'll tell you the tables in a minute, but it's a real cracker. So round 11 of the Super Formula Season 3, and we are at Spa. A tricky track ever with those curves, treacherous for these drivers in the single-seaters. They really are treacherous. And the Super Formula Championship, they're allowed to use all the tyre compounds, but they're only allowed to use the Super Softs once in the race. We're going to have 30 laps here at Spa, the 4.352 mile track with 20 turns. I'm telling you, yeah, they're going to be they're going to have to be on their toes in this race, because it's going to be lively in these cars, I guarantee you. And they are all carrying championship ballast, and we'll have a grid order. I believe they're going at 8:45, so 7 minutes time. They'll be being placed on their grid position, and that is as follows. Turtle Racing will be on the pole position. He's carrying 105%. They start at 100% with their weight, and then as they gain momentum in the championship, they get ballast. And this is how it follows anyway. Turtle on 105. Alexis Maximus will be second on the grid on 115% because he's missed a few races. JTX third with 100%. Catula in fourth on 113%. Pat in fifth on 101%. Sixth will be Skyjacker with 106%. Noxie, 7th with 104%. 8th for Guesty with 106%. Digital Blasphemy starting 9th with 113%. 10th for Jim with 102%. 11th for Homesick Alien with 110%. Racer Brown in 12th on 115%. He was hoping he was going to drop that 15 somewhat, but he's not managed to shake that penalty off this season. Shiren on 113% and Talleyrand on 111%. So that should be the grid. I'll tell you what the championship looks like. I haven't looked at the drop scores one as of yet, so I don't know how close this could be coming into this last round. I'll tell you what, it's rather tight. It is tighter than I thought it was. So Talleyrand is leading the championship. After drop scores, he's on 151 points. But after drop scores, Shiren is on 148 points. There's 3 points in it. There's 3 points in it between Talleyrand and Shiren. That is very tight. This isn't in the bag that I thought it was for Talleyrand out there today. He's got a real threat there with Racer Brown on 145 points, so only 6 points behind also. And we know Racer Brown is solid even with the weight. So this championship is long from being over. Homesick Alien in fourth on 136 points. He's a little bit out of it. He could try and catch Racer Brown up, but it looks like Homesick Alien, who's taken the fight to Talleyrand most of the season, the drop scores have not been helpful to him, and he's dropped down behind Racer Brown and Shiren into fourth, 136 points. Digital Blasphemy fifth with 108 points. He's only 2 points ahead of sixth place Jim, who's on 106, so that's a battle in the race to watch out for. And Guesty 7th is on 104%, and Noxie 8th on 100 points. So 8 points covering 5th and 8th place. Everything to fight for there in the mid-pack. Skyjacker 9th on 91 points. Pat 10th on 85 points. Catula 11th on 83 points. JTX 12th on 45 points. Alexis Maximus 13th on 18 points. And Turtle in 14th also on 18 points. So yeah, Alexis Maximus and Turtle have got some duking out to do for that final position. So everything happening, great stuff. And wow, I thought Talleyrand was miles ahead, but that's tight. Shiren, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. He's got to finish a couple of places ahead of Talleyrand, but it could be doable. Wow. And Racer Brown in the shout as well, but he really needs Talleyrand to have a bad race. Guesty in his battle. in that 5th to 8th place. Anything to shuffle around. Homesick Alien. 4th, he's got a long way to go though to try and even catch up Racer Brown after the drop scores. So it's coming into this race with really just the win in mind. That's all. He's not racing for points today. He's just racing for the win. So we'll see how that affects his race. An hour race we have around here. Well, 30 minutes, so it's close to an hour. They use all of the tyre compounds, and anything can happen. Katula in the midst of that mid-pack battle. Digital Blasphemy involved as well. Patting his lovely Rothmans. I mean, it's a Williams. Wow, that's harking back to the old days. But a Williams is Lavazza Williams. Turtle. He's racing with Alexis Maximus today. If Alexis Maximus is joining us in the Super Formulas, I haven't seen him as yet. Didn't notice him on tracks, and possibly not. Maybe he just wants to finish off in the trophies. I don't know. No one's entered yet. Come on, Alexis. Turtle and you are on exactly the same points. It's worth fighting for. Skyjacker out there at the moment in his Chevrolet. There he is. He's in. I had nothing to do with that. So Skyjacker, very sexy livery there from the Chevrolet manufacturer in this Super Formula, sponsored by Monster. Looks very neat, very tidy, and it looks rather special. Very nice. We have Guesty there in his Renault Mild 7 replica. Fernando drove that car at one point, did he? Or was Mild 7 already kicked out by then? But yes, I think it was. So Guesty, beautiful replica there of the F1 and Marquis. Then we've got Noxie. He represents a BMW for his manufacturer. And he has got a nice livery. We'll come back. Haas livery there for Shiren. I guess he's using a Ferrari then. But yeah, Shiren could do something today. He's just gone. No, he hasn't gone faster than Talleyrand as of yet. 57.5. This is half a second off Talleyrand's time. Talleyrand already putting in the practice a lap time for them all to shake their head at. But Talleyrand, remember, on that weight, starting from the back. Shiren, I don't know, he'll be near the back, wouldn't he? Because he's second place in the championship. So Shiren and Talleyrand's battle for that 3 points will be all the way through this race, and an interesting one to watch. A lot of pressure there for Shiren though. He's got to try and gain that ground on Talleyrand best he can. Yes, he there. Skyjacker. I think that wasn't Skyjacker one of them that's in that battle for the 5th to 8th place. 8 points between the lot of them. Pretty sure it was. He's in that tussle. Digital Blasphemy on 108 points. Jim on 106. Guesty 104. Noxie on 100. Oh no, Skyjacker, he's 91. 9 points behind Noxie, but that if they're all tussling over points that you could gain. Could gain big, you don't know. Oh, we must have been asked if we're ready. I keep missing that ready thing. Somebody get involved. Excuse me. He's so punctual. It's Talleyrand. It is 1:45. I was rabbiting on about the table. I forgot what time it was. So yeah, here we go. Revved up, ready for round 11. 3 points in it, which I didn't even really realise. I thought Talleyrand had absolutely got this one closed off before we started, but no, he's got to fight for this one. It's not a slam dunk for Talleyrand, not in any way, shot, form or whatsoever. And Racer Brown's in with a shout. Remember, where did Racer Brown disappear to? He was out there earlier. Racer Brown also only 6 points behind. good three-way battle for the championship at the moment. And it's Spa, man. It's Spa. Anything can happen. These cars on those curbs, if someone starts really trying to push on, try and gain some ground, and they go a little bit over those curbs, you know how painful it can be. And Homesick-Alien, he's not really in the race, like I said. There's huge points deficit between him and Racer Brown. So, I mean, all he can do today is just enjoy the race for what it is, and if he gains a lot of points on the guys ahead of him, bonus. But yeah, I don't think he can be in that championship mindset. Really, it's Shiren, Racer Brown, and Talleyrand tight in it. Homesick, I think, his fourth is pretty safe. But then, yeah, fifth place with Digital Blasphemy, all the way through with Jim. Guesty, I think he said, oh, get it out of the system nice and early. That's what we do before going into the race. So here we go then. 30 laps around Spa for the final rounds, and there's nothing in it at the top. I'm really surprised how close this championship is. I really am. Wow. Alexis Maximus starting on pole with Head of Turtle, JTX, Cthulhu, Pat, Skyjacker, Noxie, Guesty, Digital Blasphemy, Jim, Homesick-Alien, and yeah, we missed the rest. Get rid of the numbers, even though we can't see them. Great shot of the grid, waiting for the green lights here to start round 11 of Spa. And there they go, the green lights are on. It seemed to delay, didn't it? It seemed to delay from the front guys, but they're staying ahead. Alexis Maximus maintaining that line. Oh, there's a bug. Someone's stuck on the grid. There's a bug, so I believe that'll be a red flag. Alexis Maximus maintains the lead from Turtle. Cthulhu, but they are being told to exit. Skyjacker in fourth place. There they all go now, disappearing. And yeah, I think it was Shiren that caught the bug, and really Shiren wants to be in this bad boy. He really needs his internet to stay strong with him today, because he really needs to he needs them points. He needs to find them 3 points, and he's also trying to save his second place from Racer Brown. So hopefully Shiren will be back. He did leave, but maybe he's off to smack around his internet box and say, work, damn you, work. This is important. I cannot lose another championship. So as Shiren is off tightening the elastic bands and using a little bit more masking tape on his internet providing thing, digital box, router, whatever it's called. He's trying to fix that, as the rest of the contenders all sit waiting. I don't know why we're looking at a menu screen. Look at cars. So yes, that was a great getaway from Alexis Maximus. Stayed ahead of Turtle, and he'll be trying to stay in that mindset, because he did a cracking job there. Shiren back in the room, hoping that his internet is a little bit stronger. That Turtle out there, the Dutch driver. Yes, he's got to chase down that Alexis Maximus up to a Rouge. So his reactions have got to be cat-like lightning. Talleyrand, 3 points, that's all he can think. Just got to stay, he's got to just finish ahead of Racer Brown and Shiren. That's all he's got to do, really. That's his job in this race. There's not much else. Not have any tragedies on the first lap. We are live, so anything could happen. Skyjack says, you sound well chilled out and laid back tonight. Smooth vibes. Yeah, I've been asleep all day. This is morning for me. I went to bed as soon as I got in from shift, and I set my alarm to get up at 12, so I was like, so I'd had some day, but I don't know what happened. That alarm didn't go off, and yeah, I've slept all day. I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. It's going to be cracking. But yeah, no, I'm half asleep, probably. I've totally just woke up. Right. Let's give it an R to say we're ready. Right, I'll try and be more excited. Skyjacker. It's tight. It's tight. I don't know what else to say. Oh, dear. I'm stretching, if that's anything. Stretch it out. Right, everyone's saying that they're ready. This is going to go off again. Cracking stuff. How is this race going to turn out? 30 laps around Spa. My gosh. It's intense. Skyjack saying I was up at 3:30 this morning and fell asleep midway through sending an email. We're back in the office this afternoon. No, mate, he likes it. He likes the smooth grooves. Smooth grooves of a sleepy thingamajig. Yeah, I just don't know what happened. I think I snoozed my alarm and my alarm got bored of waking me up and stopped snoozing me. So I think it was about 5-ish, so I think I've had about 11 hours sleep today and I feel dopey for it. I really do. It's like a hangover. Got a sleep grog on the go. God, yes, weird. And now I'm not going to sleep tonight, which is going to be an absolute pain. I have to play computer games all night. I'll try. Go to the vet at 10:15 in the morning. Right. We'll go. We're waiting for him to go again. Is Alexis Maximus going to be able to pull it off for a second time? Again, it looks like a bit of a delay there, and it might be a JTX that gains out of that, because JTX did look like he's moving. Oh my God, we had a car off there. Alexis Maximus, though, he's got his nose just ahead, but Alexis Maximus on the curbs. That's what I was telling you about these curbs. You've got to be careful of them. But Alexis Maximus still managing to stay ahead. Oh my Lord, but no, he's getting swamped now. JTX just takes the lead, and then Alexis Maximus is holding on to that second, but Skyjacker and Pat are both involved as well. They're side by side going through radio. It's crazy stuff there, but JTX leads from Alexis Maximus. Skyjacker edges. No, Pat's got it back again with that lighter car in third place. Skyjacker fourth with Noxie straight there in fifth place. We've got Digital Blasphemy sixth. Shiren making his way through the field. He needs 3 points on Talaran, but he can't get into too much danger there on the outside of the corner. And oh my gosh, that was tight stuff. But Guesty prevails and stays in 8th place ahead of Shiren, but Homesegalian now and Racer Brown both trying to come through. This is some absolute hustle and bustle down in the mid group, and as the leaders of the championship try and make their way through. 11-4, Talaran no 12th, he's dropped back another position, but it's Shiren who's down there with him. Shiren's been shuffled down, and is that Racer Brown? No, that's Cthulhu. Oh my God, Skyjacker's leading though. Skyjacker has managed to get himself past JTX and Alexis Maximus, and he's up into first place, and he's going to be trying to slam down some absolute corkers of lap times to try and pull away from the field, with JTX in second, Pat there, Pat in third. Where has Alexis Maximus dropped down to? Alexis Maximus must have got on the curbs again, and Digital Blasphemy is going for one on the inside. Alexis Maximus just trying to cling it onto the road, and Homesegalian manages to follow Digi through. So now Racer Brown is in fifth place. Home6 just got one on Digi, and Noxie's in there as well. Noxie's kept it on. I thought he was on the grass, but no, Noxie fighting with everything he's got there with Digital Blasphemy, and it's a real battle down there, and Digi's gone a bit wide into the chicane. Jim's having a look up the inside of Digi, but Jim's on the curbs and he's wide, and it looks like him and Shiren have had a moment, and oh my gosh, Jim down there he is, 11th. He looked like he was wide on those curbs, having a bit of a struggle. And he's back again with Digi right in the middle of that battle. And Shiren with an absolute sore spot of a move. Wow. What a Digital Blasphemy, Jim and Cthulhu and et al. Were all battling for that first corner. Shiren just swipes it one up the inside, and now Shiren back into 8th place. Meanwhile, Skyjacker 1.3 seconds ahead of JTX. He is slamming his dominance down after 2 laps, already pulling out nearly 2 seconds on the Finnish driver. The Finnish driver, though, chasing him down. We've got Pat in a strong podium position there, but he's got Racer Brown behind him. Racer Brown carrying a lot more weight, but he's very good, and that weight will probably help him on the curbs here at Spa. If all be known, he could probably He can afford to go onto the curbs more than the other guys. Guesty doing a solid job there in 5th. There's Homesick, Alien 6th, just ahead of Noxie in 7th place. Digital Blasphemy in 8th, ahead of Shiren, whom is 9th. There we got Jim in 10th, just ahead of our championship leader, Talleyrand. And at the moment, it's hard to say. It's only a couple of points, I think, between them. And Talleyrand just behind Shiren will be enough. Would be enough, I think, to get the championship. I think there's only a point between positions, so he needs to be a few positions down on Cthulhu. Not Cthulhu, Shiren, sorry. I was looking at Cthulhu there, seeing how he was getting on. He's there right on Jim's case. In the slipstream. Coming up over Altamar. And there's a cracking little race we've got going on everywhere. Skyjacker's leading from JTX with Payne 3rd. Cthulhu, was he having a look up the inside of Jim? Was he being opportunist there? But Jim doing a cracking job. But Jim's got himself a nose full of Talleyrand, who's in 10th. We've got Alexis Maximus. He's wildly over there. Where does he come down to 13th? And Turtle there in 14th. So Skyjacker leads 1.7 seconds from JTX. JTX now getting into a rhythm. Not letting Talleyrand pull out any more time. There is a Pat. He's nearly 2 seconds behind JTX, and he's just under a second ahead of this man here, Racer Brown. And even though he's carrying that ballast, if he can get within 8/10, he'll be getting the slipstream, and that will just counteract that ballast that he's carrying, because he'll have the slipstream. And that is what he's looking for from Pat. So Pat has to maintain that high lap time to try and keep that second. Use that weight against Racer Brown, because if Racer Brown gets too close, he'll pick up the slipstream and the weight won't matter. Guesty then 1.5 seconds behind them in 5th place, with Homesick Alien in 6th, chasing them down. 7th place for Noxie. I have no idea what sort of pit strategy they're going to go for in this race. I would hazard a guess. Digital Blasphemy under a lot of pressure from Shiren and Talleyrand. Talleyrand up ahead of Shiren, and that is great for him, but Racer Brown's rather high up, isn't he? Racer Brown's got to get about 6 points, I think, to catch Talleyrand up. Well, no, because Talleyrand will score points in this race, so yeah, I think it might be enough. I don't know, 9th. I haven't done the maths properly, but it might not be enough. Racer Brown's just got to try and win it, really, and hope Talleyrand doesn't come in good places. But at the moment, there's only one man. Remember, though, last round, I'm pretty sure he was dominating early doors in that race as well, and it all fell apart from him. In the second half of the race, just didn't quite come together for our man Skyjacker. So, but at the moment, on the racing soft tyres, they're allowed to use any compound they want. They're only allowed to use the super softs once. But if they're going for a one-stopper, which, because the pit lane here is ridiculously slow and costs a lot of time, if they're going for a one-stopper, then they've got to really watch that fuel, haven't they? One-stopper at 15 laps. He's already 4 laps in. The fuel's not looking too bad, actually, is it? Tyres are looking solid as well. Yeah, they probably will just go one stop, these guys, I reckon. 1/4 of a tank fuel used. It's going to be tight. Let's get it. Whoa, JTX going out wide there, and he drops that car out of 3rd. He was up to. Who have we lost? Oh yeah, there it was. JTX was in 2nd, wasn't he, chasing down Skyjacker? Oh, poor JTX. We just saw him going out wide. It seemed nothing. I was just chatting and talking rubbish. And I noticed him went out wide, but I thought he was just going to come and return back to track, but it didn't happen for him. It ended up in a spin, and now he's dropped down to 7th place, just ahead of Shiren, with Shiren and Talleyrand's battle continuing on. And all Talleyrand has to do is finish behind Shiren and watch Racer Brown, though. But Racer Brown hasn't moved up. He lost a position there to Guesty. Guesty's got through. Guesty's got through, past Racer Brown. Racer Brown dropping back towards the Alien, who's bringing Noxie along with him. And Skyjacker, meanwhile, 3 seconds ahead of Pat now, after JTX dropping out. Pat under pressure from Guesty. Guesty ever closer to Pat. It's a rubbish view, I've got to admit. So we'll go on nose cam. So Guesty, Guesty hunting down a bit of Pat. Fancies a go at that, up through Eau Rouge as we sit on board, over on. We've got a lovely straight here, he's getting a good run, but Pat's closed that door. Pat's closed that door. Guesty's had to come back out of it, try and get back into the stream, into the braking zone. Is Guesty going to sling one down the inside, a little bit too far back? And then he's thinking about it now. He's sitting there on Pat's tail, Pat being very defensive on the insides there. Now Guesty's got a good run on him coming down here. These are tight corners, but there's not really much room to make a move. Continuously right turning, then flicking it to the left. And it's all very tricky, especially that curb. You don't want to be riding it too much. And Guesty dropping back from Pat now, waiting for another part of the track. He just wants to get close to him through this last segment of corners and get onto that nice long straight Blanchimont. And here he is, he's closing up on Pat now into the braking zone. Lovely driving from Guesty in third. He's 2.2 seconds ahead of Racer Brown, 6/10 behind Pat at this point, 6 seconds behind Skyjacker. Skyjacker really are rollicking away with it. Talleyrand up into 7th. He's got himself ahead of Shiren, who's in 8th place. Sat on board Guesty as he gets a run on Pat, but I just don't think it's enough. I think Pat has got the measure of Guesty today, be it the weight ratios or the way he's driving. But Guesty is struggling to get too close to Pat at the moment. Oh, and Guesty heavy onto that throttle, giving the back end a swingling. And he's still trying, and if I come out of that and have a look around, he'll be ahead of Pat next time, because that just seems to be the way it goes. But Skyjacker there, he's got the fastest lap of the race. And like I said, he's been in this position before. And he's had a torrid second half of the race, so he'll have that in mind as he's driving around. He'll know. After the pit stops, he's got to crack on, not get involved in battles. And there goes Guesty, I told you as I pulled away. Whee, a super bunny hop there from Pat as well. But Guesty through, up into 2nd place now, and Pat now in the final podium position, but Racer Brown 2.4 seconds behind. Racer Brown's lap 4 was not great, lost a good couple of seconds there. Homesick Alien only 3.5 seconds, but that battle he's having with Noxie hasn't gone away. Noxie all up in the Aliens business right now. If we get on board with Noxie in 6th place, we're 3 seconds ahead of Talleyrand, and Shiren's not behind Talleyrand now. So we'll check out what's going on in that battle with JTX, because Shiren, he needs to be finishing ahead of Talleyrand, by a couple of positions at best, really. And here we're sat on board with Noxie in 6th place. Him and Homesick Alien have been inseparable for this whole race so far, all 6 laps. Noxie has been ever present in Homesick Alien's rearview mirrors. And here he comes, closing up to him through Blanchimont, heading up to the chicanes. Got a good run on him, but Homesick Alien keeping his car to the inside. It's going to be tight. Noxie's very close. He's going to try and outbrake around the outside, maybe flip it through underneath and hope the Alien late breaks himself. But the Alien has made a perfect entry and exit into that chicane and stays ahead of Noxie, giving Noxie no opportunity. Meanwhile, though, Racer Brown's pulled away another half a second away from the Alien, so Homesick having to be defensive. Only did a 59.6 that last time around, with Racer Brown doing a 57.9, catching up Pat. 58.9 for Pat that last time around, with Guesty only 9/10, so Pat might just about pick up a slipstream. I'm not sure though, he might be just outside that area. Whereas Guesty now in 2nd place, 5 seconds behind Skyjacker. Skyjacker keeping it solid out there. Let's have a look at Talleyrand, our championship leader. He's only 2 seconds behind Homesick Alien. He's getting purples. He was ahead of Shiren, but now he's ahead of JTX, our Flying Finn. The Russian sensation down to 9th place now. Not a great lap, that last lap, 2 minutes. Talleyrand's one was a 1:57, JTX a 58.5, so Shiren losing a whole heap of time that last lap around, and he'll have to get refocused. And we've got a long way to go, only lap 7 of 30, so there's still plenty of racing here, plenty of opportunities for Shiren. Talleyrand only a couple of positions ahead, 0.3 ahead of, 3.7 seconds ahead of JTX. JTX a second ahead of Shiren, so, you know, it's doable, but Talleyrand has caught up Homesick Alien. Now, is this the battle of the fuels? Is Homesick Alien trying to save fuel a little bit? He's let Noxie go through, or Noxie has gone through, sorry. Noxie did a 2-minute on lap 6. Homesick Alien of 1:59, so it's this lap somehow that Noxie's got through, overtaken the Alien, and now Talleyrand coming up. It's like taking candy from a baby. Talleyrand, Homesick keeping it on the inside, making Talleyrand work for it, but Homesick onto that throttle and losing the car a little bit. Talleyrand helping straighten him up. Homesick Alien stays in that 6th place though, defends from Talleyrand at the moment. Is it tyres? Tyres are exactly the same on those cars, and now Talleyrand up in 6th, and I don't know, half a tank of fuel. They should be good, I imagine. I don't know if the Alien is just trying to fuel save, or it's just he did a 2-minute lap that last lap. He just did a messy lap. I'm not sure, but Homesick Alien losing 2 positions there to Noxie and Talleyrand on lap 8 of 30. So interesting racing down there, but Skyjacker 4.2, so Guesty's pulling it in. Guesty's starting to apply some pressure on the leader. And how will he react to that? Will he lift his game? Will he raise his lap times? Or is he sticking to that fuel? I think it's fuel. I think they're trying to get to lap 15. They don't want to stop here. I think they want a 1-stop. There's Pat in 3rd. He's very, very wild there, but he's got it on track again. And he's holding that 3rd position from Racer Brown. If anything, he's pulling away from Racer Brown. Racer Brown's lap times are not reflected, but that might be his weight. Noxie only 3.8 seconds behind Racer Brown. Noxie on a push. He can see Racer Brown. Talleyrand chasing him down. With Homesick Alien can't live with Talleyrand's lap times. I don't know if that's the tyres, if he's fuel saving, but Homesick Alien definitely has dipped a little bit of pace here for some reason. JTX there in 8th place on a comeback. You saw him go wide and get a spin whilst he was holding on to 2nd place in this race. So he'll be stinging at the moment. Shiren, oh my, he's in a championship battle. 3 points, he needs to finish ahead of Talleyrand, but at the moment, no jobby, nothing's there. He can't do it. Unless something drastically changes in this race, but at the moment, Talleyrand up to 6th place. Shiren holding on to 9th. Unless again it's a fuel thing, because Talleyrand is gulping that fuel as he's bursting through those lap times. And Homesick Alien, he's not getting through that fuel. Maybe they're going for a longer first stint, not even aiming for lap 15, but maybe later than that, so they can put the super softs on. They can tell these racing softs have lasted 9 laps so far. They're not torn themselves apart, so the super softs could possibly have a good durability here. If they go over lap 15 and shorten their second stint, then they could be in for a nice short fast stint on them super softs. As these guys, if they either put the softs on, and they don't have to use the super softs, or if they go for super softs on a 1-stop, by the end of lap 15, they could, by lap 30, their 15th lap on those tyres, they could easily be finding them not to be that good. So it's an unknown in this race so far. Guesty, I've got to say though, the racing softs, I suppose, about a third worn into this race. So we're on lap 9 of 30. Guesty, he's pulled in Skyjacker a bit more. 58.2 last time around. Skyjacker 58.0. Both of them have used similar amounts of fuel. Pat as well, just over the quarter of a tank in 3rd place. He's 2.4 seconds behind Guesty. Racer Brown, he's just over a quarter of a tank of fuel in 4th. He's 3 seconds behind Pat. Noxie, 4 seconds off of Racer Brown. He's on a quarter of a tank. Talleyrand on about a quarter, so it's all similar. No, there is Homesick Alien has saved fuel, I reckon. JTX on a quarter of a tank, so most of them on a quarter. No, but Shiren as well. Shiren saving fuel, but Homesick's gone in. Homesick's gone in. I thought he was fuel saving, but he's gone into the pits. Interesting strategy. Maybe it's two-stopping that cast. I don't know. That is a tough one to call. But Homesick Alien, I thought he was going out for a long stint at the beginning here, but he's gone into the pit. So Skyjacker leads, 2.3 seconds. Guesty in second place, chasing him down, getting purples. Guesty wants to go out with a win in this last race. Pat also in third. He's not too far behind that battle also. Racer Brown, a win for him would do wonderful things, but Talleyrand only in sixth, so Talleyrand scoring enough points, I think, to fend off a Racer Brown's championship attempts. And it looks like Talleyrand there in sixth has done everything he needs to do to secure this championship. Noxie on a great run at the moment in fifth place, a 58.4 last time around for him. Talleyrand 57.9, so Talleyrand's still closing in. Oh, and Digital Blasphemy has lost connection. We have lost a Digital Blasphemy. That is unfortunate. So JTX there in seventh place with Shiren in eighth. We've got Catula now in ninth with Turtle in 10th spot. Jim in 11th. He's 2.2 seconds behind Turtle, 3.1 seconds ahead of Alexis. And here comes Homesick Alien out of the pits. Super soft tyres, just a slight top up of fuel. And maybe he's trying something a bit interesting. Maybe he's going for a two-stop strategy, but he's going for a super undercut in the middle of the race. I mean, wow, look at the time. You lose nearly a minute in the pits. Just under a minute, 40 seconds. More so, really. No, about 40 seconds, 38 seconds. But that's a long pit stop, and he didn't even top up with fuel, did he? He only put half a tank in. So maybe. Guesty's in. So Talleyrand's gone into the pits. So has Racer Brown. Skyjacker. Are they all reacting to Homesick Alien? No, they can't be. These must be there. They're not low on fuel. Maybe just the tyres. With lap 10, that's two stop. That's really making me look a fool out here. But Guesty, he's carried on. His tyres not quite half worn yet. He's just under a quarter of a tank of fuel. He's still getting those purples in sectors. Pat stayed out. So did Noxie. These guys going as long as they can. Maybe to lap 15. Shiren, it looks like he's been saving fuel. He's got a lot more fuel on board than the other guys. Is he trying to get to lap 15 and do this under a one-stop strategy? It's going to be tight. Turtle, he stayed out. Jim has stayed out. These guys staying out for that longer run, as has Alexis Maximus. Skyjacker, one of the first to pit, and he's out ahead of these guys. He's done something. He really has, because that's it. He's got himself ahead of Racer Brown and Homesick Alien. As he no, he was leading. Yeah, he should be ahead of him. Sorry, I got all confused. I thought he'd manoeuvred somewhere there, but he stayed ahead. He was leading anyway. And it was the one stop I was looking out for. It's Guesty, really, isn't it? Guesty was in second. That's who we've got to see. Who this hurts more, but Skyjacker will be making another stop. So even if Guesty doesn't get ahead of Skyjacker on this pit stop, I don't know though. That low fuel is low. Is he even going to be able to get to lap 13, where he really needs to be getting to lap 15? No, he's gone in. He's gone in on lap 11. Pat stays out. Pat stays out. He's pushing the envelope. Noxie, he's low on fuel. He's got to go in as well. Shiren, we expect he's going for a one stop. He was really fuel saving early doors. He's in the 59s. His fuel is looking very good. Moves up into second place. Noxie's in the pits. Turtle's back out of the pits, is it? No, Turtle's not pitted yet. So Turtle going for a longer run. He's being chased by Jim. Very close behind is Jim to Turtle. So that's a nice battle developing there. Whilst Pat leads in car number 4. Shiren in second place. Hasn't pitted yet. 8.6 seconds ahead of Turtle, whom hasn't pitted yet. Jim also hasn't pitted in 4th. Skyjacker. Skyjacker's the man that we're watching to retake the lead from Guesty. He has done. Sorry, Guesty's come out of the pits. He's behind Skyjacker by 3.6 seconds. I apologise, I missed that. I'm I've not even talked about their boost, but Guesty already using up 3/4 of his boost. Not even halfway through the race. If you look at the dashboard at the bottom, to your far right, there's a dial that says overtake. They've got a button they can use to burst a little extra fuel into their tank to give them a surge of speed. And they only have a certain amount they can use during the race. And already you can see Guesty is 3/4 of the way through his. Pat, not even halfway through his boost yet. He's doing a solid job there. He's on lap 12. I still think it's tight that his fuel's just started flashing, so I think he's going to pit at the minimum at the end of next lap. But he's probably going to go in now just to be safe. There he goes. So Pat, not quite getting to lap 15. Can Shuren make that fuel last? Shuren is the unknown here. I think he's the only one. These guys haven't pitted yet. Turtle still got some fuel on board, but I don't think enough to get to lap 15. And Jim might have. He's got similar levels to Shuren, so Jim might be playing the one-stopper quite well here as well. Pat into the pits, so Shuren takes over the lead, and then we can see if how much out of a pit stop he is. Skyjacker now in 4th, 13 seconds behind Shuren, but that's not enough for another pit stop, is it? If Skyjacker is going to pit again in this race, he needs to be 30 seconds ahead of Shuren, because Shuren's not pitting again after this next pit. On lap 13, Turtle stayed out, but his fuel is flashing. Jim all up in his business. I said that's one to watch. Jim making the move. Maybe Turtle having to ease off a little bit to save fuel. And now Jim up into second place with his one stop, doing a cracking job. Tyres look together. And he's giving some pace out there at the moment, which he needs to do to make the likes of Skyjacker nervous. Skyjacker very dominant in the early part of the race. He's come out, he's done some super lap times. He's on them super softs. Made a very early pit stop before everyone else. Got back out there. He's ahead of Guesty. He's pulled away from Guesty by a second since Guesty's departure from the pit stop. So a great drive so far from Skyjacker. The unknowns of these one-stoppers in front. Shuren hanging that for Haas Formula right out to the very edge of the track. Jim getting purple sectors as he drives around. Turtle there in third, chasing him down, and Skyjacker's catching him up on his super soft tyres, trying to get away from Guesty, who's got it back into the 3 seconds. And there is Pat. He came out of the pits behind Guesty by 3.8 seconds, 2.4 seconds ahead of Racer Brown, who pitted before him. Then we have Homesick Alien, 2.5 seconds behind Racer Brown, with Talleyrand closing down on the Alien there, only 6/10 behind him. He'll be picking up a slipstream. 57.3 for the Alien last time around, a 57.5 for Talleyrand, and he definitely has caught him up on this lap at least, and Racer Brown will be happy to see them guys racing each other, I'm sure. He's only 2.5 seconds ahead of that battle, but Homesick Alien's going to have his hands full pretty soon with Talleyrand. Noxie in 9th, Shuren's still out there, JTX in 10th place. Turtle's had to pit. It's not quite lap 15 yet for him. Cthulhu making his way round. He's on the super soft tyres. He's had a quiet race so far. Not quite sure who he is racing at the moment. Pitted on lap 10, same as Skyjacker. He's ahead of Alexis Maximus. There is Alexis Maximus, just making his way through, with Cthulhu now up into 11th. He's 14 seconds behind JTX though. JTX on those racing softs, chasing down Noxie. Noxie kind of disappeared. He was up there in 5th place after the pit stops. He seems to have lost a bit of time, and he's back battling with JTX. Talleyrand still only within a second of Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien, though, seems to have pulled himself out a bit of breathing space. Racer Brown pulling away from those guys. 3 seconds now. It was 2.5 seconds. So Racer Brown paying off for him with these two battling it out. He can pull away, but still he's not finishing high enough to get that title from Talleyrand at the moment. Shiren, is he playing a blinder here? He's got a flashing tank, but he's gone past. That's bold. That's a very bold move. I know he wants to be lap 15, but we're virtually there. And he might have to fuel save for a whole lap. Skyjacker 9 seconds behind him. Skyjacker did a 57.3 his last time around. Jim, he's also pushing on as well. They're very brave with these fuel tanks, not pitting. They really are adamant. They want to wait till the end of lap 15. Guesty getting the fastest lap. He is now trying to take the battle to Skyjacker. Skyjacker having to get past, I'd say traffic, but they're racers. They're doing one stops. Shiren still 8 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Guesty, he's nice and close. He's going to come out. Shiren's going to come out behind Pat. But Racer Brown's not too far behind either. No, Shiren, I'll tell you. Shiren's going to come out of the pits. He's going to feel broken because he's going to be around Catula area. Catula and Turtle, probably between those two. 44-second pit stop. So we'll see. But yeah, Shiren, he's going to lose a whole heap of positions, but he's open in their second pit stop. He's going to absolutely gain. And we will see. At the moment, he's in a good position. 7 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker's going to have to pull out like 40 seconds on Shiren. 40 to 45 seconds to be able to gain that pit stop. When Shiren pits, he's tight on fuel, but he's made it last. He's got all the way back to the chicane. In he goes. Oh, this is absolute tight, this race. Skyjacker will resume the lead of the race. But yeah, he's got to pull out some time on Shiren. Shiren's a ticking time bomb for him. Guesty as well, hunting him down within 3 seconds. He's got the fastest lap of the race so far, has Guesty. A 156.511. And he is hunting him down, that Chevy up ahead. We're on lap 16. And Pat there in third. Racer Brown moving up to fourth. Keeping my eye on that pit lane, pit exit. There's Homesick Alien with Talleyrand very close behind. Them two having an absolute super duper battle. Noxie's gone through. JTX, Jim's already pitted. It was Catula I said he'd be behind. He's still in the pits. Here comes Catula now down to the first corner. Who can tell there? We see a car just arriving ahead. So he got himself out just ahead of Catula. That probably could have been the best thing for him. He's on the super soft tyres, and there's 17 seconds before the next competitor, so he can really put some lap times in. But can he though? Can he do that, or does he have to make this tank of fuel last as well? So he might not be able to actually do it on pace. Hence Catula maybe pulling straight past him again. And Shiren trying to get used to these tyres. Catula wanting that position back. Catula on the super softs, half a tank of fuel. And the weight does take effect around here. So Shiren will be driving a huge lug at the moment. Or it'll feel like it with all that fuel on board and his championship ballast. Skyjacker meanwhile, 5 seconds. He's pulled some more time out on Guesty. Guesty losing a bit of time on this lap. So he wasn't the last one, a 57.6, fantastic lap times. 57.4 though from Skyjacker that last time around. What's he going to do this time? It looks like he's going for it. He's on the boost. 57.2, not quite enough for that fastest lap. Oh, the 56 isn't there, the fastest lap. Pat doing 57s as well. It was a 59.2 there, Guesty. That's why he lost a bit of ground to Skyjacker. Skyjacker doing just enough. He's got to be 40 seconds ahead of Shiren and ahead of those that are racing around him. But these are all sort of holding ground, similar fuel loads. Guesty just a little bit less fuel than Skyjacker. He's pushing on. He's virtually used his boost, but so has Skyjacker. Pat still got just under half of his boost left. He's only 3 seconds behind Guesty. This is going to be An absolute tight race at the end. Racer Brown. Half a tank of boost left, half a tank of fuel. What's he doing? Talleyrand is ahead of the Alien now. Homesick Alien, he looks like he's going to lose his position to Noxie. We saw Noxie drop back in the pit stops, but he's coming back through now. So Noxie getting himself ahead of the Alien losing 2 positions to Talleyrand, the championship leader. 57.4 from him the last time around on the racing softs. Noxie getting through also on the racing softs. Is this a super soft issue? Has he lost the grip? He's out wide in that corner. JTX on the softs as well. Those super softs are no friend today, are they? Look at them. Not to Alien. He's lost a handful of positions now because I think the super softs have got to the end of their life for him. He's just not getting the grip he wants. Shiren on that one stop. Just under 40 seconds behind Skyjacker. Is that a pit stop? Who knows? He's 20 seconds behind the Alien, who's going to have to pit. Katula, 2.7 seconds behind Shiren. He's on those super softs as well, and they look about similar wear to the Alien, and he has done a not a great lap that last lap as well. So maybe he's starting to lose grip with the super soft tyre. There is Jim. Jim's chasing down Turtle. Turtle in 11th place, doing some good lap times, 58s. He's on the super softs, but they're fresh. Jim on the racing softs, his one-stop strategy. So he still has to watch that fuel, I think. Alexis Maximus in 13th, 4.5 seconds behind Jim. And he's on the racing softs at the moment with half a tank, but Skyjacker, 4 seconds. It's seesawing between himself and Guesty. Guesty doing a 57.7 last time around. 58.3 from Skyjacker. Skyjacker trying to keep those lap times, but they're both on those super softs with similar wear to the Alien. Are they starting to go off too quickly, the super softs? It seems so. Pat then. Pat could be in a good position if Skyjacker and Guesty are forced to take earlier stops because their tyres aren't working as they would like them to, although Guesty seems okay with them at the moment. He is closing that gap to Skyjacker, but we saw Homesick Alien struggling on the tyres, the super softs with similar wear. And is it for the super softs? Can they do? That's all they can do. He pitted on lap 10, and they've done what? 6 laps, 7 laps, 7 laps, and they're done. Skyjacker did pit sooner than Homesick Alien. He's doing okay though. He's sticking out there. He's leading. Guesty 3.5 seconds behind. Guesty chasing. Pat in 3rd. He's on the racing softs though, so he might start creeping back to him. Racer Brown in 4th, he's on those racing softs as well. Talleyrand doing his fastest lap time last time around, a 57.3 on the racing softs, 1/4 of a tank of fuel. He'll be thinking of his second stop soon. Noxie on the racing softs, half tank of fuel. Good solid lap times from Noxie, chasing down Talleyrand. Then we have the Flying Finn there, doing some solid lap times also. And yeah, I think Homesick Alien's tyres are burst. I think they're gone. He's done a 58 and a 2-minuter. What's this one? Another 58.7. And I think his tyres are just not what they were. But he's trying to make them last, so he can get to lap 20, I guess, to make a pit stop. Shiren on that one-stop strategy, still holding 40 seconds to Skyjacker. It's going to be very tight. Skyjacker really needs to up his pace to try and make Shiren push more to keep that 40-second gap alive, and hence use more fuel than he probably would like. So Guesty though, 3 seconds. He's found another half a second on Skyjacker. They're both on a 1/4 of a tank of fuel, both on them racing super softs. I imagine they're both struggling with the grip levels, although Guesty seems to be handling them a little bit better than Skyjacker at this point. Though Skyjacker did a 57.9 his last time around, came back stronger. 57.1 from Guesty though, down to 3 seconds. Oh, awesome stuff at the front here for round 11 of the Super Formula Series 3. Pat holding on to a solid podium position at the moment, and he's pulling away from Racer Brown. Racer Brown in 4th, 4 seconds ahead of Talleyrand. Talleyrand in a perfect place. Even if Shiren wins it, I don't know, actually, if Shiren wins it. If he can jump him, he'd be down in 6th, wouldn't he? I'm not sure of the math on that one. It'll be tight. But Shiren, first of all, has got to get this one-stop strategy to work. And we're a long way off finding out. Getting up to lap at 19, some of them are on lap 20 already. That would be what you think is two-stop strategy area. Someone's gone in there, JTX has pitted. I imagine Homesick Alien is going to pit fuel, he needs to. Those tyres, though, were done. So that's a couple of positions there for Shiren to pick up. Noxie staying out, he's got good fuel loads, tyre wear's not bad. Talleyrand, his fuel has started flashing. He'll be pitting at the end of this lap. This is the lap that Homesick Alien needs to get out and make an absolute killer of a lap time to try and jump Talleyrand. Racer Brown, good on fuel. Quarter of a tank of fuel still in there. And so is there in Pat's car. Guesty, he's getting down to fumes now. And Skyjacker still a little bit more, but Skyjacker's tyres are absolutely cooked. To 58.1 last time around. It's going wide over those curves, and around here at Spa, it's not something you would choose to do. So Skyjacker struggling with grip, but still leading this race. Shiren in 7th, 41.3 seconds behind. So Skyjacker still edging away from the one-stop driver that could be in with a battle, but at the moment it looks like Guesty is taking the fight to Skyjacker. Got it less than 2 seconds. We're only one good pit stop from an overtake now, with that 2-second deficit between the two of them, and they're both coming up to their pit stops. Anything can happen. Pat there in 3rd, he's only 3.9 seconds behind him, and he doesn't need to pit, nor does a Racer Brown. So what's going to happen? Skyjacker, is he going to sling it in with those tyres, or is he going to go for another one? He's slung it in. So is Guesty. So the two leaders are pitting on lap 20. Pat carries on through. He's going to try and do a shorter stint on those super softs at the end. Racer Brown's opted to go in with that more fuel. He might get good track position here, putting in less fuel than Skyjacker and Guesty. Pat continuing on to take the lead from Noxie there. There's nearly 9.8 seconds between the two of them, not really in a battle with each other. Talleyrand's come in also. So is Shiren going to gain all of these positions? Is he going to be ahead of Skyjacker? That is the big question. Skyjacker, though, will be on fresher tyres than Shiren, remember, and could attack him in this race. Shiren, he opted to go for the super softs. That's very brave. Very brave indeed. And it's Skyjacker who's out just in front of him. Skyjacker did just enough in his stint to stay ahead of Shiren, and now Skyjacker has fuel to burn. Shiren does not. It's all going to be down to tyres, and Shiren's carrying his super softs longer in the race, and he needs Skyjacker, I think, to make a mistake. But Skyjacker, with better fuel, fresher tyres, is ahead of Shiren at the moment. Shiren doing a 58.3 his last time around. Pat's out there leading by 10 seconds. Noxie in 2nd place. Skyjacker has pulled out of the pits in 3rd, ahead of the one-stopping Shiren. So Skyjacker has fended off that position. Shiren, though, he's got full boost. Shiren hasn't used any boost at all. Skyjacker is almost depleted all his boost. And so Shiren could make up the deficit. He's got a lighter car as well, but he can't burn through the fuel. It's tight. If he thinks 3/4 is going to get him to the end of the race, half a tank certainly isn't going to get you to the end of the race. Guesty then, he was out of the pits as well. He's gone for 3/4 of a tank. He's right on Shiren's tail. So Shiren, he's got to fight from both sides. And I don't think he's going to have enough fuel to get to the end of the race anyway, it looks like. If these guys have put a third of a 3/4 of a tank in, and Shiren's running on half a tank, that's a struggle. What's Jim got? Jim's just over half. That's tight. Very tight. So a Racer Brown 4.8 seconds behind Guesty. He's looking to make the jump on Pat here when Pat pits. Racer Brown, I imagine that's what he's looking for with that earlier stop onto the fresher softs, looking to get the undercut done on Pat. Pat staying out, as has a Noxie. Skyjacker in third, Shiren fourth, Guesty fifth, Racer Brown in sixth, Jim with his one stop up into seventh place. Talleyrand came out of the pits in eighth, ahead of Homesick Alien, who pitted before him, has lost a massive heap of time to Talleyrand for some reason. That's unbelievable. They both did similar lap time, 2:43 in the pits, 2:47 for Homesick Alien. Talleyrand doing a 1:53 for his outlap, cracking lap. Homesick's 1:58, no, 54. So, yeah, Homesick Alien losing a bunch of time to Talleyrand. He might have lost some of that as well with his super softs that weren't super on. Oh, actually, check table for points. Quite a big difference between 1 and 2. Oh, is there? I was hoping it was 3 points. Check the table. I must have misread the table. I was getting you guys all excited about there only being 3 points in it, but check the table. Talleyrand 151 points, Shiren 148 points. Oh, does he mean the points, the way the points go up? Sorry, I'm looking down at my phone. Knox is into the pits, Pat's into the pits. Skyjacker then is trying to get the lead of this race back. He's got Shiren behind him, but no, Guesty's got himself ahead of Shiren. Shiren, the long game might not be working for him because he has to save fuel. The two guys pitting didn't, and now Guesty up into second, chasing down that leader. Skyjacker, as some of the guys pit, Skyjacker stays out. Skyjacker now back into the lead of the race, ahead. Oh yeah, no, there is big differences. Sorry, it's usually 1 point, but yeah, it's 25 points for the win, 20 points for second, 18 points for third, 16 points for fourth, 14. So there's 2 points. So Shiren, he only needs to finish a couple of places ahead. So at the moment, Shiren would be on 18 points. Talleyrand would be on 10 points. So that's 8 points. So, oh my words. There was me thinking it wasn't enough, but Shiren, though, he's got to play that long game, and the guys are catching him. Pat's out. Did Racer Brown do it? Racer Brown didn't quite do it. Pat got back out of the pits ahead of Racer Brown. Jim in 6th on his one stopper. Talleyrand in 7th. And Racer Brown in 5th, getting 14 points. And Talleyrand 7 points. 10 points, sorry. So it's not enough for Racer Brown to get closer in that battle. He needs a better finish. Shiren, what can Shiren do? Skyjacker then, leading the way. The only thing he can do to help Talleyrand is stay in position and not throw it off. Guesty, he looks dead set that he wants this win, doesn't he? He looks like he's not racing for the line now, he's racing for the place. Shiren being caught by Pat. Shiren just wants the points. He just wants the points for the podium at this point, I imagine. He's only 1.8 seconds behind, but that fuel is only half a tank with 7 laps to go. It's so tight for Shiren on the fuel. Talleyrand there, he's done enough. That would be enough. Well, it might go down to drop scores and look back if Talleyrand's finished with less than that, then that'll be his new drop score. But Skyjacker at the moment leads from Guesty. Shiren in 3rd place, making a fight of this championship table up until the very last lap at this point. Pat in 4th, trying to find a way past the Russian. The Russian on older super softs, half a tank of fuel. Pat carrying a little bit more weight with the fuel, but less weight in the championship, and he seems to have caught up. Shiren at the moment, he's going for the move. Shiren holding ground, hoping Pat doesn't go colliding into him. Oh, it was tight. Shiren, though, clings on around the outside, and Shiren stays in that 3rd place. Pat, though, still right on his rear, and even all this time battling. That gives Racer Brown the opportunity to close up as well, and this is absolutely humdinger. So Skyjacker out there leading this race on lap 24 of 30. Never been in doubt. Shiren was a worry, but he's seen Shiren off easily. He's 7 seconds ahead of Shiren now. Shiren's tyres starting to look more worn, but I think he's more worried about that fuel lasting, as he has less fuel than people around him. Racer Brown in 5th, closing up on that battle for the final podium position. Jim in 6th, another one probably with fuel concerns by the end of the race. There's Talleyrand in 7th, very close behind Jim, but Noxie's not too far behind Talleyrand, and he could come into effect. Homesick Alien in 9th, ahead of JTX. JTX closing up on the Alien there. Turtle in 11th, Catula in 12th, and Alexis and Maximus just making a move, trying to make a move around the outside on his Spanish friend Cthulhu. And they're ducking and diving out there for position. Skyjacker meanwhile 3.2 seconds ahead of Guesty. Guesty 4.8 seconds ahead of Shiren. Shiren under immense pressure from Pat and soon to be Racer Brown. He'll be hoping Racer Brown will have his hands full with Pat, giving him the opportunity to just cruise away from that. Jim's been overtaken by Talleyrand. Talleyrand's caught Jim up. He's made the move into La Source, and now Talleyrand is up into 6th. What does that do then? 6th is 12 points, 6 points is still enough for Shiren, possibly to secure the championship. And Jim's coming back at Talleyrand. Talleyrand back to 7th, but it's about Noxie in Jim's slipstream, but Talleyrand trying to move across. Noxie there to stop him going through, but he's over the curbs. That's going to take the wind out of his sails a bit, give Noxie an opportunity. If Noxie gets good run through this corner, now Talleyrand's having to defend with all he can against the Noxie. The Noxie pushing on, but he slips in behind Talleyrand for now. And Talleyrand is set defending as Jim gains that position back, but Jim's off the track. Jim's off the track. That gives Talleyrand the position back again as they come down to the corner. Can Noxie slip by Jim also? Noxie up, and he's chasing Talleyrand down still now, and Jim is in recovery mode after that slight off. There was nothing in it, you see that. Homesick Alien with his hands full with JTX. JTX all over the Alien at the moment for that 9th place. Shiren 6 seconds behind Guesty, and Pat has succumbed to Racer Brown, but he's trying to come back out Racer Brown, and this is good for Shiren. This holds these guys up, gives Shiren some breathing space as we've got 5 laps left here at Spa, and Pat now back ahead of Racer Brown. But Racer Brown up the inside of Pat, and he's gone wide. He's had to really get back on track, and Pat back in that 3rd, but Pat heavy on the throttle coming out of the chicane, back end weaving from one side to another. He keeps a hold of it though and carries on in 4th with Racer Brown in 5th, and that gives Shiren at least a second to breathe with and save fuel, because that fuel is going down, down, down. It might make it. It was half a tank with 10 laps to go, and it's not quite a quarter yet, but he can't push the car. You can see he's having to short shift, he's having to map that engine, with Skyjacker pulling away into the lead of this race. 26 laps down of 30. He's only got 4 more to stay ahead. Guesty's only got 4 more to try and catch up. Guesty doing a 56.9 his last time around. Skyjacker a 57.1, so Guesty's really pushing. He's been doing 56s since the pit stop. He's at unbelievable pace. But Skyjacker, he's had a couple of 56s, late 56s, early 57s, has done enough to keep Guesty at base. Shiren then holding on to that 3rd from Pat, who's holding on to his 4th from Racer Brown. Noxie in 6th place with that battle with Talleyrand. He's through. Jim down into 8th. Homesick Alien 9th. He's 11 seconds off Jim. There's nothing going on for the Alien today. He's fighting for 10th and 9th. And JTX applying the pressure. Then we have Turtle in 11th place. He's on his own out there. He's got no one to race. Catula and Alexis look like they're having their own mini little battle down there in 12th and 13th. And Catula is winning that battle at the moment from Alexis and Maximus. Although Catula on the dirt, giving Alexis an opportunity to take a run at him at the 2nd corner, 3rd corner. And there we see Catula maintaining that inside line and holding off Alexis Maximus for another corner. So far, Skyjacker, he's 2.2 seconds ahead of Guesty. Guesty really starting to push on now. Skyjacker at 57.2 his last time around. Guesty 56.7. He knows if he can push Skyjacker will ride the curbs. Guesty knows Skyjacker's style. Skyjacker trying to keep it nice and steady out there. He knows his own style as well. He slings it in, and that's how we get those back ends step out. So Skyjacker doing all he can, but Guesty applying the pressure, trying to push Skyjacker on. He's only within 2 seconds now, Skyjacker. 3 laps away from a victory in the Super Formulas. Pat there in third, clinging on to Racer Brown. Oh, Shiren's dropped behind Pat and Racer Brown. Oh, Shiren, he's only... Oh, he still needs 3 points, doesn't he? I don't know. Talleyrand in 7th. He's a second behind. In 7th place is 10 points. 5th place is 14 points. It's 4 points. That's very tight in the championship indeed, if that gives Shiren the championship. But can he hold on to it? Noxie is really messing Talleyrand's stuff up now. Talleyrand must need to finish ahead of Noxie in this race. Megan saying Vac Tech. With Skyjacker then leading the way, 1.7 seconds now from Guesty. Guesty really starting to apply that pressure. Pat in third place, a solid podium. He's lost Racer Brown. Racer Brown now defending from Shiren. Shiren knows every point counts here. He can't rely on Noxie staying there, but he's on the accelerator a little bit too quick, and he's lost that back end, and that gives Racer Brown easily that 4th. Noxie's under threat from Talleyrand. We can see the championship swing back into Talleyrand's hands here, and on lap 28, Noxie in place, Talleyrand there in 7th. And Shiren in 5th. And it's tight stuff. Talleyrand, I'm pretty sure, needs to finish ahead of Noxie, behind Shiren, or it's goodbye. He's 4 points. I don't know what the other drop scores are, if Talleyrand's got a higher drop score than this race would be, but he's looking to get that move done on Noxie, and Shiren is going to be in trouble then. That means the championship swings back into Talleyrand's hands, but at the moment Shiren seems to be maintaining it. He's only a second behind Racer Brown. Talleyrand's got to try and make a move on Noxie. Noxie is the only man standing in the way of Talleyrand's championship chances. Skyjacker, meanwhile, lap 28, still flying, but it's a second from Guesty. Guesty is really bringing it back to Skyjacker in this race. Skyjacker, whoa, wide over those curbs. They're the ones that worry me. When he starts pushing and hanging over those curbs, you know these cars become very unsettled. Pat there in third, pulling away from Racer Brown when Racer Brown got into that fight with Shiren, but now Racer Brown's pulled away from Shiren. Noxie still holding off Talleyrand all the way up until the end of this race. Jim now in 8th place ahead of the Alien in 9th. The Alien seems to have lost JTX. Turtle up into 10th. JTX down in 11th place. Oh, he's had to go in. Maybe he didn't have enough fuel to get to the end. Cotula there in 12th place, just ahead of his team friend, Spaniard friend, Alexis Maximus. And Alexis Maximus taking a whole heap of grass and a little bit more, but he stays on track. Unbelievable stuff. Skyjacker 7/10. Guesty really bringing it to him. Guesty really is closing in on him. He's in the slipstream now. Let's get on board with Guesty as we chase the leader down here at Spa. This one makes no difference in the championship. Shiren has to stay an extra position ahead of Talleyrand, which he's doing so far in 5th place. Noxie in 6th, Talleyrand in 7th. And I'm pretty sure if it finishes like that, unless there's a change to drop scores, hence if Talleyrand hasn't had, I think he's had a lower place than 7th, so I don't think this would be his drop score. But Talleyrand at the moment 7th, Shiren in 5th place, and that is one I am keeping half an eye on as Guesty closes the gap on the lead of this race. We're on lap 29, we're on the penultimate lap. Skyjacker only has to hold on for a lap and a half to take the win here for the final round of the Super Formula Series. And what a cracking race we've had as well. And there is Skyjacker 8/10 ahead of Guesty. Shiren, Noxie still ahead of Talleyrand, but Shiren's fuel starting to flash. Has he got enough to take it around another lap? Noxie only 1.5 seconds behind Shiren. Talleyrand 2.5 seconds behind Noxie. If Noxie gets himself ahead of Shiren, then it's over. And Shiren just doesn't have the fuel. I don't think he's going to do it. I think Talleyrand's got this championship. Skyjacker then, only just ahead of Guesty. Guesty's closing right up. Pat in that final podium position, looks like he's pretty safe, but Racer Brown trying to bring it back to him, but with only 1 lap to go, he's got a mountain to climb. Shiren's fuel not looking good. Noxie has caught him up, and this could be it. This could be Shiren saying goodbye to his championship hopes. Here on the penultimate lap, just not enough fuel. The one stop, a tricky strategy to play. Oh, he stays ahead of Noxie at the moment. Shiren in 5th, Talleyrand 3.4 seconds behind this battle. Even if Shiren can hold Noxie off for this whole lap, Talleyrand's going to be in the fight. Skyjacker then, he's only just ahead of Guesty. Guesty going for that final push there. Guesty no fuel on board. Skyjacker a little bit, no boost between them, but Guesty's got the slipstream. Guesty's got, but Skyjacker's got the line as they go into the corner. It's very tight here between Skyjacker and Guesty for first and second in this race. It's the fight for the lead onto the final lap, and they are battling for it. Guesty bringing it back to Skyjacker, but has he got any more? He's been for one prong attack. Maybe he's waiting for the next straight to give it some. Pat there safely in 3rd, although Racer Brown has cut about a second away from Pat. I don't think he's going to do much more. Noxie is ahead of Shiren, so that means Talleyrand now in a championship winning position. Shiren's hoping someone drops off and lands between him and Talleyrand, because at the moment that means Talleyrand wins the championship. Shiren's one-stop strategy coming undone. Guesty's ahead. Oh no, Skyjacker's had a massive one. Skyjacker. Oh, there you go. Onto the curves, out wide, and there we see Skyjacker's win slipping away. And a little spin there, why not? Thank you very much, Skyjacker. How did you know I was going to replay it? So Skyjacker just getting back on track. And Racer Brown through. Racer Brown's through. What's that do for the championship? My gosh, I don't know. It's the last lap. Guesty's winning. Let me look. For 3rd place, you get 18 points. Guesty comes over to take the win. Guesty takes the win of the race. Pat there, a great 2nd place for Pat to end the championship with. A super drive here at Spa, and 2nd place on the podium. He said there wasn't going to be many, but he's had a couple this season. Racer Brown trying to keep Noxie at bay for that final podium position. I've got to check the points, 4th for Noxie, Shiren in 5th, Talleyrand 6th, Skyjacker down in 7th. Oh my God, so 5th place. No, 6th place, Talleyrand gets 12 points. And 3rd place gets 18 points. That's 6 points difference. That's what they are in the championship. Them two might be tied. It might be down to positions. It might be a tie, 18 points for 3rd. Who got the fastest lap? JTX got the fastest lap. Sorry, I didn't know. So Guesty wins. Pat 2nd. Racer Brown in 3rd. Noxie 4th. Shiren in 5th. Talleyrand finishing in 6th. Skyjacker in 7th place, with Jim in 8th. Homesick Alien finishing in 9th. Turtle brings her home in 10th. Sorry guys, I got sidetracked by the championship. 11th place for JTX in the end. He got the fastest lap right at the end. So that's a point away from Talleyrand or Racer Brown. It's a tough one. 11th then for JTX. 12th position and looking good for Alexis and Maximus. And Catula in 13th. Oh, Catula though, he's going through. Alexis Maximus has got it. No, Catula's there in 12th. Catula in the end, that little battle of the Spaniards at the back was won by Catula, and Alexis coming home in 13th. I honestly don't know what the championship is. I honestly don't know. There you go. Racer Brown gets 18 points for 3rd. And there you see Guesty didn't give him a trophy. How tight's that? So Guesty getting the win. Yeah, I can blag it for a couple of minutes, Skyjacker, if you want to quickly check. But I think it's evens. I think it's on countback, and I couldn't tell you. I think Racer Brown might have had better positioning. I'm not sure. A great win from Guesty, at least. We know that much. Poor Skyjacker on that final lap. I don't know what happened, but it looks like he went a bit wide over the curb. And that one, Guesty thought, happy days. Pat grabbing himself a second place there. Racer Brown in third for that 18 points, the 6 points he needed to draw even with with Talleyrand. I'm sure of it. Don't think I'm wrong. I'm sure it was 46 points after drop scores. My mind is getting absolutely fried because I don't do math. Too old for that now. But let me double check that table. Racer Brown third on 145 points. Talleyrand first on 151 points. Yeah, I'm sure that's 6 points. And I'm sure Racer Brown's just scored 6 points more than Talleyrand. But that might be, I don't know. In the chat, we have Pat saying, never expected to get 3 podiums this season. Wow, and what a race to finish with. No, super stuff, Pat. Fantastic stuff. Skyjacker saying, give me a min. I think it's going to be Countback. I honestly do. And they've got a win each there. Racer Brown's got 2, 3. No, that's not Racer Brown, that's Shiren. I'm looking at the wrong person. Racer Brown's got 1 win. Yeah, he's got 1 win, but Talleyrand's got 1 win as well. So it'll be down to second places. 2 for Racer Brown, 1 for Talleyrand at the moment. Oh no, second place is 20. No, they've got 1 each so far, sorry. Yeah, 1 each on that. But I think Racer Brown is going to do it on third places. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 third places, and Talleyrand has got 1. He has. So they've got even Stevens with wins, even Stevens with second places. It's going down to third places, with Racer Brown getting more third places. So it could be that tight. We don't know. But today's results are Guesty won, ahead of Pat in second. Great job by Pat. Racer Brown in third. Noxie, a cracking battle did Noxie have, didn't he? Look, he was racing. He was racing Homesick Alien for the longest of times, and then he got himself involved like with Talleyrand and Shiren battle. He's fought himself right up there into 4th place. A great race from Noxie then today. Shiren in 5th, trying to get that one-stop strategy to work, and he would have been in with the championship battle if he could have stayed ahead of Noxie. But I think not being able to stay ahead of Noxie has undone his championship battle there. And Talleyrand finishing a point ahead of Shiren, but could be on exactly the same points. How close is that? 3 people within 2 points of the championship at the end. But Shiren, yeah, losing out by a point, I think. And Talleyrand and Racer Brown, Talleyrand might lose out to the Countback. It might be 3, 4 podiums, 4 third places, for Racer Brown, and only 1 for Talleyrand. I'm waiting for confirmation. I don't know where it'll come, though, from Discord or from YouTube stream. Shiren saying, almost, if not Noxie, lol. Yeah, without Noxie, it would have been yours. 4th, you would have got a point more than Racer Brown, or enough points on Racer Brown. Skyjacker saying Discord. Oh my. These aren't the official tables, remember, because there's, incidents need to be put forward if anyone's had incidents. So this is before the stewards, a rough idea, because there could be anything happen in the stewards' room. We never know. But at the moment, before anything is done, I think they are even on points, 163 points each. And I don't know where fastest laps, if fastest laps comes after third. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. So they've both had a win each. They've both had fastest lap each. Oh, no, Racer Brown's had 2 fastest laps. And Talleyrand's had 1. So whenever Fastest Laps comes into it. In second places, they've both only had one second place throughout the season. But it is that podium that's going to do Talleyrand, I think. Because he's only had one third place. And Racer Brown has had 5. So... yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the countback's doing. Yeah, RB clinches it on P3 or Fastest Laps, either way. So yeah, Racer Brown is the new Super Formula champion. Who saw that coming? Wow. Oh, poor Talleyrand. It looked to be in the bag most of the season. It's points, podiums, poles, then Fastest Laps. All right, so podiums did it for him then. Oh my, wow, that's exciting. And Shiren could have, if it weren't for Noxie, we would have been saying Shiren's the champion. That is unbelievable racing over a whole 11 races, 11 60-minute races, and 3 people were that tight in it at the end. That's shocking. So, Racer Brown saying this is nail-biting stuff. Shiren saying report Noxie, snub somebody please. Talleyrand saying well done, mate. And Shiren saying joking. Oh, yeah. What an absolute battle and a half over 11 weeks, guys. So Guesty takes that final win. Super stuff with Pat in second place. Racer Brown getting that podium and secures himself the championship, it seems. So take a boo, my son. Double whammy today. Cracking stuff. Noxie in 4th. Shiren in 5th, not quite enough. He was there. When he was in 5th, he had the championship in his grasp. But Noxie getting past Shiren there, whilst Shiren was fuel saving at the end, is what's undone his championship hopes. Talleyrand 6th wasn't enough for him today. He had to stay closer to the brown. But a great race anyway. Skyjacker looked like almost certain win until the second to last lap, and he just was wanging it. He was wanging it best he could, and I think he wanged it a little bit too much. So 7th place for Skyjacker in the end. Jim in 8th, with Homesick Alien finishing in 9th. Turtle in 10th. JTX in 11th. Catula in 12th. And we lost Digital Blasphemy, didn't we, along the way? Alexis Maximus in 13th. So I think Guesty, if it was him... Oh, yeah, that middle 5 battle between Jim... Well, Guesty looks like he's got through. Digital Blasphemy wouldn't have scored anything. Jim getting some points. So interesting stuff. Oh, in the chat, Skyjacker saying looking forward to pit stop this week. Oh yeah, we'll have a lot to chew over there. Pat saying that's the closest yet, and to think we didn't have tiebreakers until middle of the year. I know. When this is the second one we've had to use. Racer Brown saying thank you. Talleyrand and Thingamajig, my pleasure. Skyjacker saying defended too much into Pouillon. Oh, he defended too much into Pouillon. That's what happened. Pouillon, sorry. And Racer Brown saying I can't believe it, to be honest. Didn't think I was in contention with missing 2 rounds. Yeah, well, after drop round, it seemed you were, unless something's gone wrong and you're going to get let down very subtly. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. Look at me, I'm just chatting about, we're doing our the breaking it down already. That's for another show. So, yes, that was your Super Formula Championship. It was nail-biting all the way to the end. Shiren was looking to win the championship. Then Racer Brown got himself up into 3rd. Skyjacker dropping off is really what's cost Talleyrand. Sorry, Skyjacker, I'm not putting that on you, but I think whilst Racer Brown was 4th, he was never really in with a chance. I think it's when he moved up to 3rd is when things started looking very different. I'm not sure. But yeah, wow, what a championship. Thank you for joining us here at the Virtual Racers Club. We have a website. Check out those updated tables on www.virtualracersclub.co.uk. And from there, you'll be able to get into our Discord, which is a hoot and a half. Please join us. All sorts of discussions happening. I was your broadcaster and your commentator, Jack Meoff. Thank you for watching, and catch us soon, Sunday night, for another final of the VW Bug Enduro Cup. Okay. Right then, thank you very much. Oh, and JTX got the fastest lap, if I didn't tell you. Super stuff. Peace and love. Peace and love.